What if the God you've been worshipping your whole life wasn't the real God at all, but an advanced being that demanded fear, obedience, and blood? In the Bible, Genesis chapter 22 verse 2, take your son and offer him as a burnt offering. Exodus chapter 20 verse 5, I am a jealous God. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 20, those who disobey will be destroyed. But is true divinity jealous, violent, and vengeful? Or is that control wearing a God mask? Because the real God doesn't demand worship, it doesn't punish, it liberates. Not obedience, but awakening. Even the scriptures say it. Jesus, Matthew chapter 9 verse 13, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Hosea chapter 6 verse 6, I want love, not burnt offerings. Gospel of Thomas saying 77, lift a stone and I am there. Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 verse 30, see me in everything and never be lost. You might be confused, I'm quoting both the true divine and a darker force from the same book. That's exactly why you need to watch my Bible video. It reveals what's pure and what was planted. Link in description. Alright, so why do all ancient cultures speak of wars in the sky, from India to Egypt, Sumer to the Americas? The names change, but the story remains the same. Across every ancient culture, the war was remembered. In India, Devas versus Asuras. In the Bible, fallen angels versus archangels. In Greece, Olympians versus Titans. In Sumer, Enlil versus Enki. Anunnaki versus Igigi. In Egypt, Horus versus Set. In Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl versus Tezcatlipoca. In the Norse sagas, Aesir versus giants. Even among the Dogon and Aboriginals, sky beings came and clashed. Beings came from the heavens. They flew in machines we now call Vimanas, spoke mantras that bent reality, and wielded weapons that could erase entire cities without leaving a single stone behind. The weapons and machines used in the ancient sky wars were far beyond anything we know today. The Vimanas, described in ancient Indian texts, were like flying cities, not just planes, but crafts that could travel between Earth and other realms. They ran on mercury-based energy engines and were controlled using sound codes and sacred mantras. Some were made for war, others for watching or opening portals to other dimensions. These machines used light, sound, and vibration to work and were connected to Earth's energy lines and planetary grids. Ancient texts describe real sky battles with chariots firing energy beams, cities being completely vaporized, and sound weapons that cause people to see illusions, lose control, or even collapse matter itself. But before we go deeper, I ask just one thing. Watch this not through the lens of religion, but through the eyes of energy, vibration, and lost knowledge. Because when you shift your view, this becomes not a story of gods, but a blueprint of how reality was once built and broken. Okay, let's go. Hanuman, the monkey god, wasn't just strong, he had super speed, could fly, change his size at will, and even appear in many places at once. Some believe he wasn't fully human at all, but a bioengineered being created with advanced technology to travel between realms, part earthly and part divine. Then there's Ganesha, the elephant-headed god. He was born from Shiva and Parvati, but after being accidentally beheaded, he was brought back to life with the head of an elephant. How is that possible? It sounds like genetic splicing, organ replacement, or even transferring consciousness into a new body, something only possible with very advanced science, not magic. What if Hanuman and Ganesha weren't alone? Across the world, we find similar beings with animal-human features, superhuman powers, and mysterious origins. In ancient Egypt, there was Anubis, a being with a jackal's head who guided souls through dimensions. Was he a hybrid being like Ganesha? Then there's Thoth, the ibis-headed god of knowledge who spoke the language of the cosmos. Was he a bio-intelligent being like Hanuman? In Mesoamerica, gods like Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, were said to have descended from the sky, taught humans, and moved between worlds. Even in Sumerian texts, we see the Anunnaki, advanced beings who altered genetics and shaped early humanity. These were not random stories, they may be fragments of a forgotten science. A time when beings were designed, not born. when consciousness could move bodies, and animal DNA was used not by accident but with purpose. The war between the gods wasn't just a myth, it was a battle for control over Earth, its energy grids, dimensional gates, and most importantly, the human soul stream. The war between Asuras and Devas wasn't a fairy tale, it was a conflict over Earth's control, fought with aerial vehicles, frequency weapons, and divine genetic manipulation. Asuras, technologically advanced, often ruled underground or parallel realms like Patala or Talatala. Possible underworld civilizations used dark energy tech, illusions, and cloned or artificial life forms may be connected to the Anunnaki or even the fallen Nephilim in other traditions. Devas operated from sky cities or higher dimensions. What if the judgment after death wasn't divine at all? What if it was technology disguised as spirituality? The ancient wars were never just about land or power, they were about who controls the souls once they leave the body. The Egyptians called it Duat. The Vedas described Yama Loka. These weren't heavens or hells, they were transit systems processing grids. Inside these grids, your energy is scanned, your memory is sorted, contracts are checked, some souls are sent back, others are rewritten, repurposed. That's why we reincarnate with amnesia. That's why trauma repeats, bloodlines stay chosen, and control remains hidden. We were never made just to worship. We were designed to store memory, loop contracts, and feed systems we forgot existed. But now some souls are waking up, not because someone saved them, but because they remembered and they started vibrating beyond the reach of the grid. Escape was never physical. It was always frequency. The ancients left escape codes, stone chambers tuned to sound, symbols carved in temple ceilings, death rites using 432 Hz, maps disguised as myth. The Book of the Dead wasn't for the dead. The Bardo Thodol was never about fear. The Vedic Mukti paths were never religion. They were all keys, not to heaven, but to freedom. And now, one soul at a time, the codes are reactivating. You're not here to awaken the world, you're here to escape the loop and help others do the same. You were never just meant to listen to these stories, you were meant to remember them. Because this isn't mythology, it's your encoded history. The wars of the gods, the sky battles, the soul traps, they all point to one truth. You are not just a body, you are frequency. And the real war has always been for your consciousness. So stop taking these ancient stories as just religion or myths. They were never meant to be worshipped. They were warnings, blueprints, and coded messages written in frequency, not ink. They spoke of lost technologies, soul traps, and battles far beyond physical war, battles for consciousness itself. Escape was never about leaving Earth, it was about shifting vibration. The ancients left behind exit codes, 432 Hz, sound healing, breathwork, sacred geometry, and mantras, not as rituals but as tools to recalibrate your soul. Reincarnation is not liberation, it's a loop, a system designed to make you forget who you are, where you came from, and why you came. You don't break out by being good, you break out by becoming aware, by remembering the grid, the trap, the story behind the story. The gods have changed their faces, replaced by AI, frequency manipulation, and digital illusions. But you're not powerless. You're one of the rare souls who woke up mid-cycle, and now your mission is to help others remember, not by preaching, but by vibrating differently. You're not here to awaken the world. You're here to awaken the soul and guide those ready to escape the illusion. If this stirred something inside you, it's because the war never ended. It just changed form. The only question is, whose frequency are you tuned to? Signing off, this is Deep Defined. Subscribe if you feel it, because this path isn't for the many, it's for the soul that dares to see beyond the veil.